The content, views, and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the producer and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the City of Bremerton, BCAT, their officials, or their employees.
Hello, I'm Elise of Joyful Plant, and welcome to Gardening Through Art. Let's begin. Today we will be painting a collection of iris flowers for a collection poster using the book Holden Village Historic Irises by Roxanne Grinstad and Larry Howard. To follow along at home, you'll need a large piece of watercolor paper, pigments, a brush, water, and a reference. I'm using our friend Larry's book that he created with Roxanne Grinstad on the historic iris collection at Holden Village. Building botanical collections can be helpful to create a collection of your favorite plants. It is fun to see them together because you can explore their similarities and uniqueness. This particular group of irises was brought to the isolated wilderness village. Copper miners' families planted irises, and they still come up around the ruins of the homes, as well as in the retreat center that currently stewards the space. Deciding which botanical collection to paint is our first task. There are many people who like to create photographic collections. You could go outside and take photos of your garden or the world as the phenology changes through the seasons. Some ways to do this is through a daily or weekly or monthly nature journal. Another option is to create a collection. If you would like to create a poster on a large piece of paper, you could use live subjects or cut flowers or work from a photograph. Right now, we are going to use the photos that Larry took up in the North Cascades and create this collection of the irises to look at all together. You can create a name and revisit our brush lettering and have a lot of fun with it. A collection is yours. You can add your own bits of whimsy, and it doesn't have to be any one way. If it comes out differently than you expect, roll with it and have fun. You can use our traditional scripts or brush lettering or any type of fun lettering that helps you get into the feeling that you want to create. And as we begin looking at the flowers, we start to notice what is similar and what is different about each one. This is a poster I've begun, and it takes many different layers. So allowing some time for the paint to dry and giving yourself the freedom to play with it can let your mind wander just enough to enjoy the process and let the true character of the plants come out. This can be useful for any gardener who would like to have a phenology account of the items in their yard, or maybe a young or new artist might decide to do some drop shipping, and you can create posters or shirts with collections of plants. Putting plants in collections helps us see what's similar and different about them. The diversity helps in the garden with ecological biodiversity and enjoyment. And sometimes adding plants to a collection helps us learn more about them as we see how they can benefit our landscapes and bring us enjoyment. So we add layer by layer on these different types of bearded irises. These bulbs grow well in this area, especially in soils that are slightly acidic. Sometimes it's recommended to plant irises under eaves or in some acidic, slightly acidic soil. And they're one of the spring bulbs that brings so much interest through its many features. Its petals are fun, beautiful, and characteristic. And the dimensions of these flowers make them really fun and adventurous to paint. There's really no wrong way to interpret the shapes that these flowers take. And it helps to paint them in layers because there are usually some underlying colors and then some more stark contrasts with the lines running down them. As we add layers of paint, we bring on more dimension and shadows. We learn more about what these plants are doing for our spaces. The enjoyment of gardening can help our earth. We can help build our soils, which brings more nutrition into the foods that we grow. Beautiful gardens also help keep people healthy and interested in the landscape. And we are able to take care of Mother Earth where we live. When we take care of Earth, Earth takes care of us. And it works the other way as well. So, conscious participation in the environment, learning more about how we can build our carbon in the soil and how that helps even eliminate some carbon from the atmosphere, helps keep healthier air to breathe. You can choose to use more primary colors, keeping the colors interesting adds dimension and interest. And you don't have to see that particular color on the subject in order to put it in the painting. Oftentimes they blend together. Learning more about color theory helps us enjoy our daily life as well. All the colors are connected to our emotions and how we go about everyday life. You can always blend these or use a paper towel, and as you add a lot of pigment, you can pick up pigment, dragging the tip of the brush through where most of that is. And it gives it a lot more detailed look. You can see a lot of depth. Eventually, it almost seems to give movement. And if you're not liking where it's going, you can always give it some time, come back and paint it a little bit later. The main point is to enjoy it, to love the plants, and to get better at our stewardship through gardening. I think that looks like enough for now for the plant collection poster. You can always come back and add more and practice penmanship to complete the look with a nice classic script for the titles. Today, we enjoyed a collection of Holden Village irises that allowed the beautiful shapes of purple petals to proliferate our ecological imagination. Thank you for joining us for painting a botanical collection poster. You're invited to share your work on social media with the hashtag gardening through art and find more tutorials on joyfulplant.com. See you next time.